Hello guys, Dama.K2 here, and today we are going to be discussing how to set up a variable height PID. So I would probably rank this like a 3 or a 4 on the cheese scale, or stink cheese scale as I like to call it. Basically because this is going to be working with some rather advanced concepts in FTD, such as using a combination of PIDs and automated control blocks. Some of that stuff might go over some people's heads, but anyway, so let me show you guys how to set this up. Now this is going off of the assumption that you already have something that's already balanced with your PIDs and that you're already happy with it, like we got here. As you can see, there's not really almost any movement whatsoever. It's just perfectly content just to sit there and hover away. So what we want to do here is we want to go into this general purpose PID control here, and you'll see that it's got a fake point of 50, and this is set for altitude above the waves, but you can go with that, or another good one would be altitude above terrain or waves, or altitude above mean sea level, which basically that means the average sea level. Anyway, we're kind of getting a little off topic here, but what we want to do is try to make it to where this fake point in here changes on its own, and I'm going to show you how to set that up to do that like every 10 seconds or so. It's really simple here. At least I think it is. Okay, so first off, we're going to go into this first ACB. We're going to max out its priority, and we're going to use the timer feature. And I'm going to set this, just for example, to go off every 20 seconds or so. And then we go over to target action, and we want to have this go all the way down to here, this effect range, because if you have this set any higher, it's going to affect the rest of your PID. So you want that set to only work on the block that's directly adjacent to it. You do that by setting it to 2. Alright, so now we go here, and you want to use general purpose PIDs for this, mostly because I believe that's the only kind that will work with this setup. I have not tried this with AI PIDs, but I doubt it will, because I don't see any settings to be able to modify that behavior with ACBs. But anyway, we'll go here into the general purpose PID, and that's going to open up some things down here. And we go down here to set fake point value, and we're going to have that set for 60. Okay, that looks all good. So now we're going to go into the second ACB, but we're going to copy all these settings here, and we're going to paste them in here, but there's going to be a few changes with this. So we're going to set this priority all the way back down to -500. Again, you want to set your value here to we'll go 10 seconds. You always want the value of one of them to be half of the other for this to work correctly, or else it's going to throw things off. This will kind of keep it at a steady rhythm, for lack of a better term. Anyway, after that, we'll go here into target and action, and we'll go and set this to 50. Alright, so now it's going at an altitude of 59, and now it's down to an altitude of 49. That altitude setting is going to be going off of the location of the PID, I believe, in relevance to where it decides the altitude is going to be determined from, if that makes sense. But as you can see here, about every 10 seconds or so, it's going to pop up to about 60 meters, and then it's going to drop that down to 50 meters after every 10 seconds or so. This is something that is very, very useful for having on helicopters and airships and things like that that would have a setup like this. In theory, you could also try to get this to work with submarines. I think a submarine would probably not be able to respond nearly as quickly because the drag incurred by moving through the water, but it would totally be doable for it. But this is just to give you guys an idea of how this setup works. You could potentially do some ACV fuckery with it to where you could turn those ACVs off and on when enemies are present, but I'll probably save that for another episode of this, because that just adds a bit more complexity that I don't want to get into here. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video here, I'd like to ask you for a like, a comment, or a subscription, and have yourselves a hell of a day, and keep your hammer high. Later.